Being an entrepreneur is hard work, especially if you're a woman. In Canada, female entrepreneurs earn 58% less than their male counterparts. And sadly, women who own businesses are the most likely demographic in the workforce to file for bankruptcy. But one thing is true, no matter who you are, if you own a small business, you have to love what you do. Today, we're going to meet two women who are beating the odds with their booming and very northern small businesses. Amy Maund is a born and raised Yellowknifer who grew up exploring the boreal forests of the subarctic. With this deep knowledge of land and flora, Amy took her passion for foraging and turned it into a flourishing wildcrafting business. What is wildcraft, you may ask? Well, here's Amy to tell us all about it.
I was looking for some willows to get the bark off of them because we're making a salve this afternoon. Oh, I do see a little bit, actually, back in the woods here. We harvest the bark of the willow to put it in our balm of Gilead salve. And we're gonna make that this afternoon, so we need to collect a little bit of willow branches that we're gonna peel and use the bark to make the product. Hatchet is very dull. Willow has natural aspirin-like properties, so anti-inflammatory properties, which are really great when you're using them as a medicine. You can also chew this bark. If you're out in the bush and you have a headache, you can peel the inner bark off the tree and chew on it, and it'll help. It's just like aspirin, it's an anti-inflammatory. You don't want to do something that doesn't make you happy. Like, if you don't like your job, quit. Why stick with it, you know? Like, don't let it hold you down. Do what you want to do. That's always stuck with me, and I've followed that. Which isn't one reason why we created the business, or I created it, because I wanted something that would allow me to be out on the land doing something I love and makes me happy, but also being surrounded by my friends and family. And my goal was to eventually grow into a business where I could hire my friends and family to go out. So like all my girlfriends, we can go out picking berries, and it would actually be a source of income at the same time. And it's turned into that. I'm a northern entrepreneur. I have a business called Lichen Wildcrafted Herban Tea, and it's out in the boonies, in the wilderness, off the grid, about 40 minutes from the city of Yellowknife. My daughter comes with us everywhere. I mean, I harvested all through my pregnancy, and like when she was born, I carried her every day out on the land with me. She's a tough little girl, and she loves being out on the land. I think she picked up some of her obsessive berry picking and spruce tip harvesting habits probably in the womb, because she gets really excited about any plant that's in season, and she's out there with her bucket filling it up. It's hard to be a mom and to be pregnant and to have a child as a business owner when you're very busy, because I'm also a full-time mom. But I have a home-based business, and I've created the lifestyle where my daughter comes to work with me every day. Starting a business is actually quite hard. It's definitely a labor of love. I know for the first 5 years I wasn't really making a profit. I was just doing it because I loved it. But you really just have to hang in there and make sure you do what you really love and what makes you happy. Kind of stick with your goals, and you'll eventually get there. Yeah. Don't ever give up. I hired my first full-time staff the summer of 2015, and we started hiring other harvesters as well.
So this is what we want right here, the aged stuff.
It got to the point where myself and my spouse just couldn't pick enough of the wild product. Now I'm at the point where we train and hire between 15 to 20 foragers every summer, and I have about 10 staff. Yeah, and it just keeps growing from there. It's fun just to have women with great energy and great ideas, because it gets the business going, and we come up with new thoughts, new products, and have lots of fun when we're out on the land. So these are wild crowberries, the little blackberries. Some people call them mossberries. Nice. And at Laughing Lichen, we harvest about upwards of 200 pounds a year, and we're almost at that for this year because it's been a really good season. With these berries, we dry them in our commercial dehydrator and use them as a food product. So they're nutritious, they're full of antioxidants and vitamin C. And you can use them for your granola or oatmeal in the morning. You can put them in muffins and cookies, and they're good all year when you dry them. Most people make jams and jellies with fresh berries, or they freeze them. But we live off the grid. We don't have a freezer, and we use solar to power our business. And that's why we started drying crowberries. We have a huge commercial dehydrator that we run when the sun's out, and we have solar.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
All right.
Another successful harvest.
Great.
We keep a log of everything that we harvest. We weigh everything, and then we put it into tables. So every year we know how much we harvested.
1905.
1905. But we harvest over 50 different species of plants and berries and mushrooms. We only have a few weeks to harvest each species. So we got this brand new berry cleaner yesterday, and we're always trying to find new ways of making our processes more efficient. Now, we don't wash these berries until we're ready to process them, because as you can see, some of them are still white. They're not quite ripe yet. And these can just sit in a cool place in a fridge or a cold storage area for up to a month before they start to spoil. And they'll slowly ripen until they're totally ripe. And then we make a wild Arctic rose and wild cranberry soap. And we also put cranberries in our face cream. And we have a bath salt that's infused with wild rose and wild cranberries too. Beautiful. Finished product. Laughing Lichen, we're a wholesale distributor as well as our online store where we sell retail. We ship our products all over the world, so people can order from anywhere in the world through our online store. And then we also have about 50 wholesale partners, so 50 retail outlets across Canada that order our products from us and then sell them. This year is actually probably one of the most exciting years that I've had for the business because we were renting a small cabin, basically, where we've been running the business out of for the last 5 years, and I just couldn't grow. Like, it wasn't allowing the business to blossom and to continue thriving. So we succeeded in getting a commercial lease, which is off the grid, and my spouse has been building it. And this new building has tripled our capacity for size. It's also opened up the door for creative spaces, which was one of my long-term goals, is to start teaching again, facilitating workshops and getting the public out to learn about wild foods, food sustainability, foraging on the land, plant identification, and then how to make their own products and do economic development. The Balm of Gilead salve, it's a medicinal salve. We've got poplar buds, which we harvest in the spring on snowshoes. So they're the main ingredient. They smell amazing. And then we've got wild willow, which we harvested some today along the lakeshore. So we're gonna peel the bark off of this and put it in the pot along with the poplar buds. And we've got plantain, which I picked last night, fresh plantain leaves, and wild yarrow. And those are the 4 main ingredients for this salve. So first ingredient is plantain. It's very soothing and kind of cooling. Yarrow is a great anti-inflammatory. It's good for migraine headaches, it's good for cramps, it's good for a whole bunch of things. It also helps with bruising and swelling. So we're gonna strip the bark from the willow stems. So on the willow, it's like the inner bark that you really want, this stuff inside. Not the actual woody stick. The woody stick will burn it in the fire after, or put it in the compost pile. Here at Laughing Lichen, we do a lot of peeling of roots and barks. And we generally harvest these plants in the spring and the fall. Now the last ingredient is our poplar buds. That nice amber liquid.
It's been in there for a while.
Yeah. And it's just organic cheesecloth cotton that we're putting them in. So we've got all the herbs in the pot. We've got yarrow, plantain, balm of Gilead, and willow. And then we're gonna add extra virgin olive oil to the mix. Yeah, you just wanna make sure that they're all, I usually pick one of them up so that they're all totally covered in the oil. And let them heat gently for about 5 days. And when they're done being heated and infusing in the oil, we'll strain the herbs out of the oil, and then you're left with a medicinal oil, which we use to make the Balm of Gilead salve. We have some medicinal specialty buyers, like we ship spruce gum to Germany. We've been doing that for about 5 years now, and it's used to make traditional medicine. And they exclusively want black spruce from the Northwest Territories. So I'm harvesting spruce gum from the black spruce. We also collect it from white spruce. And we use the pitch to make a medicinal salve that we sell for people who use it for anything from insect bites to wounds to burns. It's good for fungal infections, pretty much anything. It's a great little thing to carry and use as a first aid whenever you need it. It's all natural. All we do is add olive oil and beeswax. Just checking it out. I was gonna eat some. Pulling all the excess stuff out. Like, we'll clean it when we get home a bit better, but. And we separate the young gooey sap from the older aged hard sap. And the older sap is what I'm eating right now. And that's what you use for chewing on. The younger stuff, if you pop it in your mouth, it's gonna make your teeth stick together. And it'll stick to your teeth for days. So you wanna go for the older aged cured pieces, which can be anywhere from a year to 20 years old. Spruce gum was also sold as the first commercial chewing gum in North America, just on its own in a nice little box or a tin. So, great stuff. I love to promote foraging as a way of life and a way to make a living. So being able to hire people and anyone in the north that wants to be out on the land foraging to make a living is one of my main goals. Not only does it improve your lifestyle, it makes you get out there and you start harvesting food for yourself and your friends and your family and preparing your own medicines. It's a full circle. It's just so healthy.